The comfort zone kills dreams. It's the single biggest dream killer of modern day life. Whatever it is you're doing or not doing, how is that working for you? Because at the end of the day, we're going to see results. Getting busy is what separates the winners from the rest. What are you busy doing? So are you in this journey of life to win, or are you in this journey of life to coast? And so today I want to talk about something that we're all familiar with, the comfort zone. And my question, I want you all to take notes as much as possible today. My question is, we call it the comfort zone, but just how comfortable is the comfort zone? How comfortable is the comfort zone? Is the comfort zone meant to be comfortable? Now, the thing about a comfort zone is that it might be comfortable. It might be comfortable, but a comfort zone is actually a bad spot. If you find yourself in the comfort zone, you are actually in a bad spot. And it really is, because the comfort zone is far and away, which I shared on the call yesterday. The comfort zone is pretty much the single biggest dream killer of modern day life. The comfort zone is the single biggest dream killer. You have a dream, you stay in your comfort zone, that dream is not likely to happen. The comfort zone kills dreams. It's the single biggest dream killer of modern day life. And as we look at this, the context I want to place around this is results. Please write down results. Everything comes back to your results. And as a test, I mean, when you do a test, when you do an exam, you have a result to show for it. So everything still comes back to our results. Everything comes back to our results. So the question I think we need to ask ourselves this morning is, how is that working for you? You got up in January, you wrote things that you want to achieve. The things you're doing right now, how is that working for you? How is that working for you? How is it showing up in your results? Refusing to wake up early, whatever it is, I'm going to try not to make so many judgments today. Whatever it is you're doing or not doing, whatever it is you're doing or not doing, whatever it is you're intentionally doing or not even trying at all, how is that working for you? Because at the end of the day, we're going to see results. When you're pushing in, when you're doing stuff, your results will tell. So, question, I need everybody to ask themselves this morning, how is that working for you? And for me, it's a great question, and of how is that working for you, such that we can all spin. Everybody can tell a story. I have too many storytellers in my community. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. Listen, your results will tell what you're doing. At the end of the day, we will see the results. And that question cuts through our story right the way to the truth of it. Our results, because our results don't lie. Your results don't lie. If you say you're trying to lose weight, we will soon know if you're really losing weight. I know it happens over time, but we will find out very soon. We'll find out very soon. If you say you're working on a book, you're doing anything, we will soon find out. Because life, unfortunately, I wished life would judge me by what I say, but unfortunately, life only judges us by our results, because your results don't lie. You know, Andrew Carnegie said, as I grow older, I pay less attention to what people say and more attention to what they do. And that's what I'm doing. I'm watching in my community. I'm looking. What are you doing? Where are the actions? I have so many storytellers. I have people who can come up with the greatest plan every coaching session. They have another great plan. But I'm watching to see, what are you really doing? Because at the end of the day, your results will speak, because actions lead to results. When you don't take action, you're not going to have any results. Tell me all the beautiful stories. Show me new plans. Come up with this new agenda. Great stuff. At the end of the day, your results will speak. Because you know what? And you all know this, talk is cheap. But getting busy is what separates the winners from the rest. Getting busy. What are you busy doing? And what will separate everybody at the end of the day is your results. Getting busy is what will separate winners from the rest. So are you in this journey of life to win, or are you in this journey of life to coast? Results is the name of the game. If you don't have results, nobody knows what you've been doing. We all want to be happier. We all want to be healthier. We all want to be wealthier, don't we? We all want to change the results that we're getting in some areas of our lives. Now, this is going to be different for everyone, because some is for health, some is for wealth, some is for their relationships. It could be money, it could be relationships, it could be health, it could be your physical body, it could be spiritual development, whatever it is. But where's the result? Where's the result? Where's the result? I have this killer of a personal trainer at the moment. I meet every Friday. At the moment, there's absolutely no way I can do that twice a week. He is wicked. He is extremely wicked. That's what I can say. He's just crazily wicked. But it's not gonna work if you're not gonna put yourself to the test. And at the end of the day, you're going to see results. And I think that we all become happier when you're seeing results. We all become better when you have results to show for it. So why don't we get better results then? Why don't we seek to push ourselves, to stretch ourselves such that we have results? Isn't that what we want? Many people say they want a better life, but they're not willing to take the action that would give them the results of a better life. And it's an interesting thing, but when many of us look at our results, we tend to see our results as a reflection of our potential. I'm going to try and put a spin on this. We tend to see our results as a potential of our potential, as a reflection of our potential. And sometimes that seems like the natural thing to do. We look at what we are currently achieving and we accept. Underline that word, accept. We look at where we are in life right now. We look at our current circumstance and condition. We look at what we're currently achieving, and we then accept consciously or unconsciously that those results reflect not just what we're currently achieving, but all that we are ever capable of achieving. And that's why I'm constantly pushing people in this community, because your current results actually don't reflect what you're capable of doing. Every time I get to the gym with this humongous, ridiculous, wicked personal trainer, he is adding more stuff. I mean, yesterday I was squatting with over 75 kg on my back. How is that even possible? I would never, ever had dreamt of that. But and he's told me next week we're going 100. And he says by the time we're done, well, I would have run away by August because I'm traveling in August. His plan is that in the next 2 weeks, I would be squatting with exactly my body weight. And I'm like, are you all right? You can't be serious. But the only reason why that's possible is because he's willing to push me beyond my current achievement, current strength. He is not having it. I'm gifted with my speaking. I tell him so many stories. I am trying to psych this guy not to make me do the many crazy things he's trying to get me to do in the gym. But at the end of the day, I am shocked that I'm able to do it. Why? Because he doesn't see me based on where I think I am right now. He's pushing me based on my potential. And where you are right now does not guarantee, has nothing to do with what you can produce, whatever results you may have right now. But so your current result is not about all that you're capable of achieving. So for those of you who are achieving, I want to push you today. For those of you who are not achieving, I want you to push into your potential. Because at the end of the day, we're not stupid. If we're capable of achieving more, which is what I'm learning with this trainer, if you're capable of achieving more, surely we should be doing that. We should be doing that. If you're capable of achieving more, why aren't you achieving more? Why are you relentless why are you just staying where you are? Why are you just staying where you are? If you're capable of carrying more weight, carry more weight. If you're capable of doing more, do more. If you're capable of going extra, go the extra mile. Why relent just where you are? Why rest on your current results? If you're going to be great, you're going to have to be somebody who goes the extra mile. That's how it's going to work. I'm not going to be the coach who's going to tell you you're doing well. No. Well, at least I'm experiencing that in the gym. He's ridiculous. I mean, yesterday, literally, my legs were wobbly. I couldn't even climb stairs. But he's somebody who's looking at me and saying, no, you are capable of doing more. And that's my role here. You all are capable of doing more. You all are capable of going the extra mile. Should we all not be doing that? You are capable of earning more. Why are you relenting? Why are you relenting? Why are you not going to get more? Why aren't you earning more money? Why aren't you writing more books? Why aren't you stretching yourselves? Why aren't you owning more businesses? If we're capable of achieving more in this community, surely we'll be doing that. We should be doing that. We should all be going for more. And this would appear to be the obvious answer. But do you know this? The obvious answers are often the wrong answers. The obvious answers are often the wrong answers. And if you think about that for a moment, that would appear to make sense, because the obvious answers tend to be the answers that most people come up with. And most people, by definition, are getting normal results. Everyone is getting normal results. They're getting average results. And this is probably not the results that we dream of for ourselves. So if we find ourselves slipping into that thinking trap, I think we have to ask ourselves, how is that working for me? How is that working for me? Think about it for yourself. What sort of life would you ideally like? Everybody, think about it for a second. What sort of life would you ideally like? How many people do you know living that kind of life? How many people do you know that are living that dream? The sort of life you say you want. How many people do you know that are living that life, that are living that dream? And I think the odds are good. We want something more than the average person on the street is getting, don't we? Elle Nightingale said that most people tend to order their steaks medium. How many people do that? And they live their lives the same way, medium. John Maxwell always quotes a story in his, which we've all read together, in 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, and I've heard him say it so many times. Something about this guy who goes to a fortune teller. Guys, listen, this is actually how many of us our story is. He goes to a fortune teller and asks for fortune to be told, and says, and the fortune teller says, you will be poor and miserable until you're 45. And then the guy asks the fortune teller, he says, then what happens next? And the fortune teller says, then you will get used to it. Many of you have gotten used to mediocrity. What a horrible, depressing thought when it's presented like that. But when it creeps up on you over the years, it doesn't seem so strange. Gradually, we have accepted mediocrity. Gradually, we have accepted the status quo for where we are. Gradually, we have accepted to stay at a level, earning the same thing. Gradually, we have accepted to live life the way we've been conditioned to live life at the moment. And it doesn't seem too strange, because we've accepted mediocrity, and then we switch our dreams and hopes onto our children. How many of us are doing that? Be honest with yourself. Hit the chat box. We switch our hopes onto our children. We say, I can't achieve that again. I don't have time, and then you're now expecting that your children are the people that are going to fulfill this. We begin to make excuses like it's too late for us, but maybe they can get it right. Because we have now accepted mediocrity. We've accepted that we're going to work for the rest of our lives. We're going to get a pension. And all that whole stuff. Accepted mediocrity at your age. We've just accepted life like that. Nobody's pushing anymore. Nobody's going for more. Hasn't your mother said to you, you're young, you've got the rest of your life ahead of you? We're now beginning to live the same stories our parents told us. Every single one of us still have the rest of our life ahead of us. So it's never too late to decide that we're not settling. Never too late to decide we're not settling. That's what it is. A while ago, I was listening to this health CD, and the guy was talking about some research relating to poisons in our food. And he said that Small amounts of poisons are sometimes more dangerous than larger amounts, because the body can pick up on larger amounts and process them. But small amounts, they sneak under the radar, they go unnoticed, and they build up over time, causing big problems. You know, I think it's also in 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, or is it Put Your Dreams to the Test? If you can remember the story. I don't know if this is true, but remember the story about the boiling of a frog. You pick up a frog, you drop the frog in hot water, and the frog would actually jump out. You know, and you say, wise frog, but put that frog, according to the story, put that frog in cold water and heat it up slowly, and the gradual changes in temperature are accepted. Many of us, that's exactly what we're going through. You have gradually accepted the conditioning. So the frog accepts that, hey, does not know what's going on. It doesn't move. Apparently obvious. And then what then happens is the water is heated slowly to boiling, and the frog would accept it until it's dead. How often do we do that in our lives? Think about the things that you've come to put up with. Is this helping anybody this morning? Hit the chat box. Is this helping anybody? Think about the things that you've put up with. Because you've now gradually grown to be like that. You've now gradually gotten used to living like that. Your current earning, your current circumstance, the way your health is, you're now familiar. It's now familiar to you. We've become comfortable in our discomfort. We've become comfortable in the way our relationships are running. We've become comfortable in the way our finances are. We've become comfortable in the way our health is running. All kinds of dreams, they're now gradually eroding us till there's practically nothing left. So my question again, how is that working for you? This is the month of July. The things you said you were going to achieve this year and what you are doing right now, how is that working for you? If we're to start afresh, we'll never tolerate it, right? But we've grown used to it. Now we barely notice that we've accepted mediocrity. We barely notice that our life is actually not heading in any direction. And this applies to all areas of our lives, to a lot of people, most people. And when we think about our results in these different key areas of life I'm constantly talking about, it's a sad fact that majority of people are going the wrong way, and they always have. They take their lead from those around them. They take comfort in being a part of the crowd, in copying their actions, copying the actions of people in the crowd, in seeking the opinions and following the advice of people in the crowd. That's why we're building this community. That's why we have this community of people who are stretching, people who are thinking, people who are growing. Most of the people out there, the people you're trying to get opinions from, are people who have average results. And you're asking for the opinion from people with average results, people who have settled. People who have settled to mediocrity, they are the people you go ask for their opinion. Taking your lead from those around you, they take comfort by being part of the crowd, in copying their actions, in seeking their opinions, in following their advice, and ultimately, therefore, you know what? You're going to be getting pretty much the same results that everybody else is getting. L. Nightingale calls it a self-defeating cycle of the poor, asking people who are getting the same results as us what they think we should do. Can you imagine how absurd that is? When we stop and think about it, it doesn't make sense. The problem is we never, surely it makes sense to seek the opinion of someone who has demonstrated by their results that they know what they're talking about. Who do we ask? The Bible says, by their fruits you will know them. That's how you find who you need to be speaking to. By their fruits you know them. If someone is not getting the results you want, why on earth would we be asking that person for advice? Why on earth would you pay any attention to their opinion? I don't care whether they're your mom, whether they're your dad, whether they're your family members. If they don't have the results you have, why on earth are you asking for the opinion? The guy I'm working out with at the moment is averagely my height, right? Same kind of humor, but I can see the results. That's why I'm working with him. Don't go to somebody who doesn't have the results. Because you know what? They're going to lead you in the same direction of where they're going, which most times is either nowhere or they're just going around in circles. Stop hanging out with people who are not bent on achieving something. Stop doing that to yourselves. And that's why we've created this community, such that you push yourself. And if you're not going to be willing to push yourself in this community, it's time to ship out. Because everybody in this community is going somewhere. Everyone in this community is aiming for something. Everyone in this community has to earn more. Everyone in this community has to do more. Everyone in this community has to go the extra mile. Everyone, I mean, absolutely everyone. I'm sick and tired of tolerating a lot of I can't do this, I'm overwhelmed, I'm that. Stop it. If you can't, then get out. It's time to get out. I'm saying it now. If you're not going to stretch, if you're not going to push yourself, if all you're going to come and give me is excuses, it's time to get out. Because here in this community, we're going to push for more. We're going to go for more. We're going to push ourselves in the direction of our potentials. We're going to stretch. We're going to find out what we're capable of doing. Look, I've done it for years also. I'm sure many of you have too. Ask someone you like what to do in a situation, in an area where they're getting terrible results. Doesn't make sense. But you know why we do it? Because such people, their answers are comfortable to us. Their answers are what we want to hear. It's convenient. It's comfortable. It's familiar to ask the people around us for help when we need it, because the people, the things, the circumstances that we're surrounded by are part of our comfort zone. We know where we are here. We don't need to think much. I'm challenging everybody to think. Unfortunately though, settling for the comfort zone means, listen to this. This is depressing. I mean, it means we are today all that we are ever going to be. When you settle for the comfort zone, you are today all that you are ever going to be. Now, I don't know about you, but I find that quite a disturbing thought. When we stop stretching, when we stop reaching, when we stop seeking, when we stop risking, how can you live life without risk? You are every day. How am I stretching? Every day, what am I reaching out for? Every day, where am I seeking? Every day, what am I risking? When you stop stretching, when you stop reaching, when you stop seeking, when you stop risking, you actually stop growing. I'll say that again for social media. When you stop stretching, when you stop reaching, when you stop risking, when you stop seeking, you actually stop growing. Anytime you're not stretching, anytime you stop reaching, anytime you're not risking, anytime you're not seeking for more, you stop growing. And if we're not growing, you know what happens? We begin to shrink. When you stop growing, you begin to shrink. It doesn't seem to matter what level you are at. You could be earning 50K, you could be earning 50K a year or 50K a month. We all get stuck at times. But the most important thing is we have to determine to move on. Do we move on or do we languish there? You see, in our comfort zones, almost all our actions are driven by habits. And habits are actions that express themselves without any conscious awareness. Habits are actions that express themselves without any conscious awareness. So when we're acting habitually, our conscious mind is if free to think, is free, does not pretty much think of anything else, of something else. So let's put it this way. You've heard me make this example a lot of times. Those of you who drive a car, you'll be able to relate to this, right? You're in your car, you're driving 70 miles per hour. You're staring with your knees. You're dialing someone on your mobile phone. You're thinking about what you're going to say when you get through. Listen, if you're thinking about what you're going to say, then you're actually not thinking about driving the car. because you can't be doing all of them at the same time. So who's driving the car? Well, obviously you are, but you're driving the car through your actions that you've delegated to your habits. So it's actually your habits, your actions that you've delegated to your habits that is driving the car, not you. And many of us are living our lives based on that. Habits are extremely useful, but they're non-adaptive. In a recent article I read, the author puts it beautifully this way. He said, habits have an IQ of 0. Your habits have an IQ of 0. Your habits have no intelligence. They do what they've been programmed to do. And many of us run our life based on habits. Your habits are learned behaviors. They are routines. Now, they're extremely useful, but habitual behaviors perform as they were set up to perform, not necessarily in the way that best suits your current situation. So various studies have placed estimates of the amount of our daily actions that are habitual at around 80% or even 90%. Almost all of what we do, we don't think about it, guys. Wake up in the morning. Many of you are now on clockwork. You will get up at 5. You will get up at 5:30 to be on the calls on Saturday because it's now a habit. Almost all of what we do, we don't think about. Just think about it. But think about it with me. Almost everything we do, we don't think about it. We're on autopilot because habits are one of the 2 key things that help us pen in our comfort zone. They keep us doing the same things. And so they keep us getting the same things, getting the same results. But we're comfortably living by habit because it means we do not need to think. And thinking is hard work. If you're in my community, I'm going to challenge you to think because that's hard work. We don't need to make too many new decisions in the comfort zone. We don't perceive any real risk in the comfort zone. And listen, not taking any risk appeals to us. You know, you coined from John Maxwell, and you've heard me say it a lot. Many people, most people tiptoe through life hoping to make it safely to death. You want to die a safe death. You want to die a safe death. You're not going to go out because there's a virus. You're not going to do business because there's a virus. You're not going to travel because there's a virus. Hoping to make it to the end of life safely. But we can't get away from risk, guys. There's risk to everything. There's risk even in staying at home, especially your comfort zone. There are risk and cost to a plan of action, but they are far less than the long-range risk and cost of comfortable action, JFK said. Like the man in the boat, casually watching and the passing scenery as it floats blissfully on our way towards the waterfall. Rowing upstream is hard work, guys. Floating downstream is comfortable, but if you're going to row upstream, hard work. Downstream, comfortable, but for how long? Maybe there are more risk to the comfort zone than maybe they are. The comfort zone might be comfortable once again, but it's a bad spot. Every single one of us is floating down our own stream in some areas of life. When are we going to set out for what we really want? When are we going to set out to head where we really want to go? It's a question for everybody. When are you going to start doing what you say you really want? When are we going to start going where we say we really want to go? I know people in my community who want to relocate. When are you going to start going? Many of you want better jobs. You want to be the head of something. When are you going to start going for what you say you really want? When are you going to start doing what you say you really want to do? Where is your boat floating right now as you casually watch the passing scenery? Many of us are just watching life and it's going past us. We may not know exactly where we're floating, but we do know this. Water only flows in one direction. Water only flows in one direction, and it's not up. So if you are coasting downwards. If your life is just good right now and you're just coasting downwards, I can tell you that free of charge. Things are not about to get better by accident. You're not going to be richer by accident. You're not going to be better by accident. You're not all of a sudden going to be healthier by accident. If I don't put in the work, I'm not going to see results in my health. It's not going to happen by accident. I wish I could just go on Netflix or the TV and watch people work out. And it would just also be working in me, just as I'm imagining it for them, it will happen to me. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen by accident. Guys, look at your life right now. If things are not good right now, they are not about to be good by accident. They're not about to be better by accident. If you don't like how much you're earning right now, you're not about to earn more by accident. If you don't like the results you're seeing in your health, in your body, it's not about to change by accident. If you don't like the results you're seeing in your spiritual life, it's not about to change by accident. It's not magic. Your results are telling you something about where you are right now. I heard someone once say, if you're on the right road because it's uphill, the only way, look, when it's difficult, you're on the right road. So those of you who are saying, Coach, I'm overwhelmed, I can't keep up, you are actually on the right road. If it's difficult, you're on the right road. If it's easy, you're going downstream. If you go for walks and when you're on the hilly roads, you know the difference. You know how much you're burning at that time. And I think many of us are much like that man in that boat, except possibly even worse. Just enjoying the passing scenery. A good portion of us are busily pointing out the weeds, complaining about the other boats, that are charging in the opposite direction on the mission. But guess what? We're still drifting downwards, drifting towards the waterfall, but complaining all the way to anyone who will listen. And the other day I was teaching on Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He came to this conclusion that we all have infinite potential. And that means that from where we are today, every one of you on this call, about 34 of you on this call right now, from where you are today, wherever that may be, but from where we are today, we can keep growing. We can keep growing in any direction that we want to grow, and that we can keep growing for the rest of our lives. Every day we can become more than we were yesterday. You hear me say that all the time. If you are not going to be better than you were yesterday, today, then what do you need tomorrow for? Thomas Trowell said something about an orderly sequence of growth. And I love that expression. An orderly sequence of growth is one of the things on my wall. My mind is the center of God's divine operation. God's divine operation is always for expansion and fuller expression. And this means the production of something beyond what has gone before, something entirely new, not included in my past experiences, though proceeding out of it by an orderly sequence of growth. Life is about an orderly sequence of growth. Now, whether you accept we all have infinite potential or not, it's not necessarily that important right away. But the more we can think about these things, the more we can come to the conclusion. It's not what we can do that is important. It's what we will do. I'll say that again. It's not what we can do that is important. It's would you actually do it? What we will do. That's what's most important. What we can do is hypothetical. What we will do is what's important. And I want you, if you're listening today, make decisions right now. Write it down. What am I going to do? Not what can I do? There's so much you can do, but are you doing it? It's not what you will do that is important. What we will do is what is important. Whatever our potential is, the reality is we only use a fraction of it. There's plenty more for us to cultivate. There's plenty more for us to push. The bottom line, though, is this. In order to grow, we must get out of our comfort zones, because growth occurs outside of the comfort zone. That's where real growth happens. If I don't stretch myself in my health, in my fitness, I'm not going to experience any growth. It happens outside of the comfort zone, not in the comfort zone. That's where the real growth starts. It's weathering the discomfort that is responsible for our growth. You've heard the expression, strong timber does not grow easy, right? Calm seas never make a great sailor. Well, you know what? It's battling against and overcoming something that leads to growth. If you're not battling something, if you're not overcoming something, you are not going to experience growth. And growth is good. So struggle, confusion, all of you are experiencing those things. I don't know why you're running away from it. Listen, guys, your struggle, your confusion, your pain, your discomfort, your fears, these are all signs that we are growing, and they are good signs. So welcome them. Stop avoiding them. Your struggle, your confusion, your pain, your not knowing, the discomfort, the fear, they are all signs that we're growing. They are good signs, guys. So we should welcome them, not avoid them. In fact, if you want to grow quickly, you should actively seek for some struggle. If you want to grow quickly, look for some confusion, look for some pain, look for some discomfort. Embrace it. Actively seek them out. Get uncomfortable on a regular basis, not sometimes. Get uncomfortable on a regular basis. It sounds strange, doesn't it? But it's exactly what you and I need to do. So my question is, what have you done today, till date? This is July. That is unfamiliar, that's inconvenient, that's uncomfortable. What did you do this week that's uncomfortable? What have you done this week that is unfamiliar? What have you done this week that's inconvenient? What are you going to do this weekend that's unfamiliar, that's inconvenient, that's uncomfortable? So one of the two things that keeps us stuck in the comfort zone is habit. And we've got to get into the habit of getting out of the habit of the comfort zone. But the second key thing that keeps us stuck is even more insidious, and that is our belief. Beliefs and habits, they keep us penned up in the status quo. Both don't only exist, they really exist in one place. And it's a place within our control, inside our minds. You see, between my two ears. That's where our beliefs and habits, that's where they really only exist. You know, my coach tells this story. He was coaching someone recently, and they were telling him, my mentor, and they were telling him of their dream to have a house in the country. The only problem was that this lady said she didn't have money. I mean, literally was on a mastermind. I was listening to this call. The lady said she didn't have money, and she quickly added, and many of these is what happens between our coaching calls. Many of you will see yourself in this story. And the lady quickly added that she was committed to getting money. And my coach asked her, asked her how she was going to get the money and she said she didn't know. She's tried everything. You know the amount of people I hear that, coach, I've tried everything. Have you really? So my coach then went on to explore what everything really meant. And they started looking at a couple of options. She explained that she couldn't get any more money in her current job. And guess what? My coach asked her, he said, consider whether that statement was right or wrong. That it was something that she believed. And she agreed that yes, it was a belief, but that she knew it was correct. And then my coach asked her what her thoughts were on setting up multiple sources of income. And she explained that she only had 2 or maybe 3 hours a week of spare time. These are some of the stories we tell ourselves. So she couldn't do anything else. And my coach asked her to consider, is that a belief that she held and that she's agreed that it was, or though she looked at him like he was mad, is that really true that you only have 2 or 3 hours? Is that really true that you don't have more time to do more stuff? Look, we've all got our stories. We've told ourselves these stories such that it's so convincing. There's someone on this call, I'm not going to talk about them. But if you know what life has thrown at them and what they have created, despite what life has thrown at them over the past few years, they've built businesses, yet not comfortable, yet not having everything right. And many of us have believed that, hey, because I'm black, because I'm this, because I'm that. Is that really the truth? Is that really the truth? So my coach went on to suggest that there were people potentially doing 2 or 3 jobs. doing what she was doing, possibly, and even earning twice as much money. And she agreed. So he now told her, he said, why do you think that is? She said that they were much more intelligent than she was. So he asked her again to consider, is that a belief that she's held? Many of us are stuck because of the beliefs that we've held. I can't earn more. Is that really true? Is that really true? I can't earn more than that. Is that really true? I can't do that program. Is that really true? I can't pay for coaching. Is that really true? I don't have extra. Is that really true? Is that really true? Or is it a belief? Is it a belief? Because most people have difficulty distinguishing what they believe with reality. So my coach went on to push and said that he's aware that in her field, there are people who were earning more and may not necessarily be as intelligent than she was. Many of you would not step out of the comfort zone because of your pension. Think about it. Is that a reality or is that a belief? Because the reality is this: our habits, our beliefs, they are stored in our subconscious mind. This means that by definition, they are below our level of consciousness. That means that we're not necessarily aware of what we believe. Guys, we're not necessarily aware of what we believe until you get a good coach like me who would question those beliefs. That's why I question those beliefs. Is it really true? Because you know what? Questions are a great way of digging into the subconscious mind to find out what we really believe. Because our belief system is based upon our evaluation of something. And the more we reevaluate our beliefs, the more likely that they're likely to change. The beliefs that hold us back from moving in the direction that we would like to go are called self-limiting beliefs. Self-limiting beliefs. If you say you can't, I agree with you. If you say you can, I agree with you. If you say you can't, it is true. If you say you can, it is also true. You're either going for it or you're the one holding yourself. A lot of us are operating with self-limiting beliefs, very unhealthy beliefs. Very unhealthy beliefs. I think it's useful for us to consider that the role with regards to our comfort zones, and just like the lady in that example gave, a big part of our problems is in assuming that our beliefs reflect a single reality rather than seeing them simply as the result of a learning process.